Hey everyone, today we are diving deep into something super important, getting registered for the 2026 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. The BSKE. So let's get right to it. Are you actually ready to have your say in the 2026 local elections? Because it all boils down to one simple but super crucial step, getting yourself registered. And that's exactly why we're here. We've done the homework, we've gone through all the official Comma-like rules to create this simple, straight-to-the-point guide. Think of it as your cheat sheet to getting registered, minus all the confusion. All right, so let's start with the basics, the two biggest questions on everyone's mind. Who can actually register, and when's the window to do it? Okay, so there are two different voter lists here. If you're voting in the barangay elections, you need to be at least 18 years old by election day. Pretty straightforward. Now, for the Sangguniang Kabataan, or the Bske, you need to be between 15 and 30. The one rule that applies to everyone, no matter which list you're on, is residency. You've got to have lived in your barangay for at least 6 months leading up to the election. That's the key. And check this out. This is the official schedule straight from Comelec. They're giving us a pretty wide window, starting in late 2025 and stretching all the way to the middle of 2026. And look at the hours. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday. But get this, they're even open on Saturdays and holidays, which is awesome. They're really trying to make sure everyone has a chance to sign up. So let's break those dates down so they really stick. For pretty much everyone, things get started on October 20th, 2025. Now, if you're in the Bariam region, your start date is a bit later, May 1st, 2026. But here's the big one, the date to circle on your calendar in bright red ink. The deadline for everyone is May 18th, 2026. Seriously, don't wait until the last second. Okay, so now you know if you can register and when. The next logical question is, where do you go? And the good news is Comelec has really stepped up to make it easier than ever. Of course, your go-to spot is always going to be your local Comelec office. The office of the election officer right in your city or town. That's ground zero for registration. But wait, that's not the only place you can go. To make sure as many people can register as possible, they're actually bringing the registration to you. And this is where it gets really convenient. They're setting up what they call satellite registration sites. We're talking places you go to all the time, like your barangay hall, local schools, universities, and even shopping malls. The whole point is to make it super easy for you to just show up and get it done. All right, so you've marked your calendar, you know where you're going. What actually happens when you get there? Let's walk through the step-by-step process of what to expect. First up, you gotta have your documents ready. The big question is, what kind of ID do you need to bring to prove you are who you say you are? Well, you've got a ton of options here. Your national ID, passport, driver's license, SSS card, even a student ID works, as long as it has your photo and signature. But, and this is super important, so listen up, a barangay certification or a cedula will not cut it. They won't accept those as your main ID. Want a little life hack to make things go faster? Head over to the Comelec website before you go. You can actually download the application form and fill it out at home. But hey, if you can't, don't sweat it. They'll have free copies waiting for you at the registration site. So once you're on site, the whole thing is actually pretty quick. It's basically 5 steps. You hand over your form and your ID. Then they capture your biometrics. That's just a fancy way of saying they'll take your picture, fingerprints, and get your signature. After that, you'll take an oath, and finally, you get a little receipt to prove you've registered. Boom, done. Okay, let's pause on that 4th step for a second, the oath. This is a really big deal. We're showing you the exact wording from the Comelec resolution here because it's that important. It says if you refuse to take the oath, your application is basically thrown out. It's like you were never even there. So yeah, it's not optional, it's a must-do to make your registration count. Now, beyond just the basic process, Comelec has really put in a lot of effort to make sure that absolutely everyone who is eligible to vote can register easily. Let's be real. Nobody enjoys standing in a long line, right? Well, that's why they've set up express lanes to make things quicker and easier for certain people. So, who are these express lanes for? They're specifically for persons with disabilities, or senior citizens, and pregnant applicants. It's all about making sure their experience is as smooth and comfortable as possible. And they don't stop there. They also hold special registration drives targeted for specific groups, like the youth, women, even persons deprived of liberty, and members of indigenous communities. It's a fantastic push to make sure every single voice gets a chance to be part of the process. Whew!
Okay, I know that was a lot to take in, but the good news is you're now armed with everything you need to know. So let's just quickly wrap things up. We've covered the who, the when, the where, and the how of voter registration. You officially have the complete playbook. You are good to go.
Look, getting registered is more than just paperwork. It's the very first step you take to have a real impact on your community. Your vote is your voice. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to make yours heard?